Hey guys, welcome to a brand new show. No, I didn't announce this one. I didn't run a poll on it. But I have had a few people comment over the last few months, both on Patreon, on a private server, and in YouTube, that this is one of the best TV shows that I've missed. Another one is Criminal Minds. We'll get to that. Someone's told me that that's worth watching too. Now then, NCIS, Naval Criminal Investigation Service. Never heard of it. I've heard of the name. I've heard of the show. I go in things completely blind, as you know. Now, here's some disclaimers. First off, I don't know much about this show. I've looked up the cast without giving myself any spoilers, and I don't know any of the cast either. None of them. I think I might know one of them from something. We'll find out further down the line with that. And I don't know that much about Navy and Army stuff and Marines and other than what I've watched in other things. But as regards to an investigation service, I know there was a previous show called JAG that was on in the 90s. I remember seeing that on TV. I never watched that. I would have only been in my early 20s. I was far too busy with other things, and I assume a lot of that might have been courtroom stuff, and I wasn't kind of into that sort of thing then, but now I am. So I don't know the cast, I don't know the show, I don't know much about what it's going to be about apart from the obvious, obviously the investigate Navy stuff. And because it's a show that's relatively old, started in early 2000s, that it could be quite, I don't know how episodic it's going to be. I don't know how much character development we're going to get. I don't know if there's going to be a continuous backstory or whether it's just going to be episode of the week, or at least to start with. Now then, the way I'm going to tackle this, I know this is a bit of a long-winded intro, but I need to explain. There are 21 seasons of this show. Now, if I do one a week, it'll take me 10 years. I've worked it out. Or 5 years, sorry. We're not going to do that. We're going to start off with 2 episodes a week over on Patreon, and I'm going to release one a week on YouTube until I get familiar with the copyright gods and as to how stringent the network that made the show, that ran this show and aired this show, some are worse than others on YouTube as to what you can get away with, what you can't get away with, and how many times it will throw up copyright claims even if you keep clips short. So I have to play it by ear, but I will start 2 episodes a week on Patreon and may increase it to 3, but do you know what it's going to depend on? It's going to depend on you guys as to how the metrics show for this show, how popular it is, how people perceive it, whether people want to see me react to it. So we'll start off with the first season, and if it's popular enough, we'll continue on with it. What I'm not going to do is, as they say, flog a dead horse. I'm not going to watch 21 seasons if by the time I get to season 2 nobody wants to see me react to it. So I've no idea how popular it is. Of course, all the new stuff out there is popular, but I feel like there's so much I missed because between my 20s and my early 40s, I didn't really watch much television and much episodic television. I watched the odd movies here and there. So I'm doing a massive catch up anyway. All I ever watched really were all my classics and sci-fi. So this is a little bit out of my ballpark. I'm hoping it's sort of kind of similar to something like a mix between the episodic style of the X-Files, where you get to, as the viewer, get to ride along trying to work out the episode, which is what I'm going to try to do, which is what I did with the X-Files. I always tried to work it out and see what's going on and get the cogs turning, trying to figure stuff out as the episode goes along. And a mix between that and like Homeland, you know, on like the governmental sort of side of things, but kind of a mix or a mishmash. I've no idea, really, not a clue. Talk about going totally blind. Anyway, I've been talking for 5 minutes. Should we just get on with it? So, if you're watching this, wherever it is you're watching it, if you're watching on Patreon, you already know the score. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll get one a week to begin with until I get used to whether I can upload more than one of these a week, because it takes so much time when things keep being repeatedly uploaded and blocked and blocked and blocked because of copyright. Anyway, I digress. You don't want to know all about that. And watch the bloody show, don't you? Right, let's get on with it. NCIS, Season 1, Episode 1. Got a long way to go. Wow, that's real fudge.
Bobby, those baby backs from Papa Joe's make the flight?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. They were flown in from
Cool.
San Antonio.
Yeah, a trip to the Lincoln was the best day I've had on this job.
He sounds like him.
Expect problems, Agent Todd. And with a little luck, you'll never lose a president.
Uh-oh. Oh?
I recovered the ball.
The ball? Is that the
Right
football?
Night trap.
No, you're not looking too
Are you
hot.
ill, Commander?
Oh, hell.
God. Let's go.
Oh, God, is it food poisoning? It could be food poisoning.
Get his shirt off.
He's dead. Ew. Okay. Yankee White.
Yeah, Gibbs.
A Navy commander carrying the football on Air Force One just carked in the
What's
air.
the football?
Where'd they land?
Wichita, Kansas.
It's Saturday, Gibbs. You know, if we had our own jet.
We don't.
Just learned that Air Force One has made an unscheduled stop.
36 cents a mile. You want to drive?
It's humiliating.
They're going coach.
Hey, we're Leo's.
That's embarrassing.
NCIS anything like CSI?
Only if you're dyslexic.
Why don't you tell me you're stopping for the doc? He's got a bag permit.
Move it, man.
Where do I know him from?
This body is in Wichita County, and as a county coroner, I have jurisdiction.
Your jurisdiction doesn't supersede the FBI on Air Force One.
When the president departed on the backup plane, it became Air Force One. This is now Alpha Foxtrot 29,000.
You ain't moving this body until the ME says you can. Agent Fornell here is FBI, Agent Todd, Secret Service. Ducky, they're fighting over this body like two hounds over a T-bone.
Yeah, they are.
Everyone else must deplane.
All right, you heard the ME. Let's move it, boys.
Is that the right word? Deplane?
What do you think?
He was stricken after having lunch with the president.
Yeah, how is the president?
He's fine.
Okay, so this may just be a normal case of food poisoning, not that someone was trying to make sure it was the president that ate whatever this poor bastard ate. For the first few minutes, you're just going to have to give me a little bit of time to soak myself into this, because there's a lot of names being thrown around and a lot of agencies. You know, we've got NCIS, FBI, we've got a lot going on here. We've got Secret Service. Just give me a few minutes to get myself a bit grounded here.
When the commander returned from lunch, he had an equilibrium problem, and his grip was too weak to hold.
Was it sudden?
Sudden.
He started to convulse and collapsed.
They can leave with the body as long as they sign releases.
Why the hell didn't you say that?
Couldn't. Like I said, it's the ME's decision.
It's down to him.
Police forms are in my car.
Let's go.
Tony, go on. Show the pilot your credentials. Get us the hell out of here. You enjoy playing my boss?
I did, rather.
What do you think happened, Doc?
Playing his
Good
boss.
God, Gibbs.
What?
I barely met the deceased. I remember this young, promising basso profundo in London. He was only 27 when he keeled over.
And there's not a soft-shell crab within 1,000 miles.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Busted.
NCIS.
They didn't know they were, did they?
From Washington to take over the investigation. Do believe this is a dead naval officer?
Who died on Air Force One after having lunch with the president. It's my job to protect.
You ever worked a crime scene, Agent Todd?
No.
I am a Secret Service agent.
Yeah, but you're not worked a crime scene, have you?
Well, don't dismiss me
That's not
like
what
that.
you do.
Okay, I earned my jock strap.
Gibbs, pilot won't take off till the
Cha-ching.
Secret Service chick gives us the
Check.
thumbs up.
Let's Escort Agent Todd off this aircraft and close the hatch.
You're not serious. Wait.
Damn it, Agent Todd, let's get this show on the road.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. We overbooked the flight.
What the hell are you doing?
I don't think he's allowed to do that.
Never said he was my medical examiner.
Oh, you got played. I know him.
Of interagency
Charles Whitmore.
cooperation?
Yes, sir. I got the Secret Service agent in charge at Wichita to agree to share the investigation. If the FBI gets this body, we won't see an autopsy report until after they leak it to the Washington Post.
Are you starting the autopsy?
Goodness, no. I'm just taking his liver temperature.
So, let me get this right. That guy pretended that this guy, Dougie, was his medical examiner because they were arguing over jurisdiction. Then they throw the FBI off the plane because now the president's not on board. It's a normal plane and this guy's a Navy officer, which gives them jurisdiction because they're naval. Is that right? Okay.
The president's physician declared him dead at 2032 Zulu. Sketches? He's taken a dozen photos.
Tell me her measurements.
You're pathetic.
No, I'm serious. Can you tell if she's 5'4" in a 34C or 5'7" in a 36D?
I get 1915 Zulu. That's nearly an hour earlier. Well, there's apparently a discrepancy between my time of death and the president's physician. It isn't 36D. A bit of wishful thinking.
You think?
Well, that's Hollywood speculation. You're asking for the real thing.
I saw this in the movie, Air Force One.
No.
No, this is in the movie.
Yeah.
What about Commander Trapp?
Only met him this morning. He just received his Yankee White clearance and was Major Carey's backup. The Major had...
Okay. Question. What the fuck's a Yankee White? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. And did he say that the other guy's name was Nozo or something? I don't know. Fucking hell. I'm going to have to write some of this down.
Everybody switch planes with the president?
The press was put on a separate plane. Everyone else boarded the backup except 3 stewards who I put in the press cabin.
Rule number 1, never let suspects stay together. Put these on.
You have
My
rules?
fingerprints are all over this aircraft.
Now, since the commander had lunched with the president, I'm sure the president's physician rushed to evaluate his condition.
Yes.
You saw to the
Once he
president
was sure
first.
that the president wasn't in medical danger, he returned, and he was gone nearly an hour.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that makes sense. There's your discrepancy of an hour. The minute you saw that he was incapacitated by whatever means and you're making the presumption at the time that it may have been the food, it's obvious that they're going to attend to the president first. So by the time you got to him, there's your discrepancy of about an hour. Yeah, I get that.
It reminds me of a case once in New Orleans. A jealous husband shot his wife off a Mardi Gras float right under the clock at the corner of Basin Street.
Doc, give it a rest. She's got work to do.
Should I write these rules in my Palm Pilot or crochet them on pillows?
I don't know. I might need to write them down.
Oh, no.
The president was sitting there.
Pretty good bet, since it is his desk.
Take the item, in this case, Commander Trapp's lunch. Place it in the evidence bag. Record all pertinent information.
She started to feel ill.
Okay, why don't you try it?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh!
Now that you got your evidence?
Badly prepared food.
Sure.
It could just be that simple. But him dying of it? She'll be dead in the next few minutes if she is. Oh, cool shot.
Please join me.
Okay, I'm interested.
You want that? Commander Trapp was a naval officer. They have every right to do the autopsy.
So they're right to do it.
Catching sailors who jump ship, but an attack on the president? You wouldn't put the man's life in the hands of retread cops and ex-MPs?
I'll order Agent Todd to turn the body over to the FBI at Andrews, but I can't control NCIS.
Okay, that was a lot of official gobbledygook.
Would you rather I used the liver probe?
No.
Why are you so sure it was the flu?
Flu?
Well, if you didn't work with him, then how... I'd hope not.
They got it on beforehand.
You gonna lecture me about sleeping with people you work with?
Probably.
Nope.
Oh.
Well, thank you very much, Chief Steward.
Yes, sir.
The president had ribs and coleslaw. Flown in from a smokehouse in San Antonio.
You're gonna get in trouble.
Anybody else have ribs?
No,
Gibbs, if the ribs were poisoned, how come the president wasn't affected?
Come on, we'd all do that if given the chance, wouldn't we? Look at me sat at the president's desk on Air Force One. You add it to your fucking little collection, but if the boss finds out, it's probably going to be in trouble.
Taking pictures of each other, maybe we can move that body aft.
Okay, everybody knew.
I'm giving you a direct order. That's our aircraft. Everything living and dead on board is under Secret Service control. We'll be walking spotty.
Wow. See, this is what annoys me with all these government agencies, is when something this big and significant happens, they're all fighting as to who the fuck should have the case, who's in charge, who gets what evidence, who sees what reports. So as far as he's concerned, this is still Secret Service because it happened on Air Force One, because it was Air Force One at the time, because the president was on board. But NCIS is saying it's their jurisdiction because he's not on board, because the guy was a naval officer. And then you've got the FBI who were wanting to get in on it, and she's getting in trouble by taking their side. This is fucking complicated as shit. They locked the rest of them out.
I don't know.
Oh, he's preempted. He knew this is what they're going to do.
I've been ordered to turn the body over to the FBI at Andrews.
I can stall him until we get it off.
I'm sorry, Gibbs.
Never say you're sorry. You don't have to crochet that one.
It seems as though there's a lot of not exactly playing by the book going on here for any of them.
We're in the clear. You can get out of the body bag.
I want to. What? Gonna search Commander Trapp's apartment tonight. Trailing you to pick up the body bag when the FBI tosses it.
That's funny.
You sneaky bastard. Okay.
Agent Todd was also operating under orders.
As
was Agent Fornell.
And the problem seems to be that my man succeeded where your two didn't. Rather that we all believe we have the right people for the job.
Yeah, you are all arguing over it.
If we didn't.
I found Abby. She's on the way.
This is awesome. I love this.
No, called on a cell.
Find anything, Ducky?
Nope, and I won't for hours. Not that I could see. I sent it up to Abby.
This has got to be poison. It has to be, right? Oh, what the fuck's that?
Gibbs, go home.
What's the big purple thing?
This is gonna take all night.
What are you doing?
Oh.
You're gonna sleep there? On a roll of kitchen roll. Or whatever it is.
This guy had enough vitamins, herbs, and organic food to open his own health market.
Kate said our victim succumbed to a cerebral embolism here in the parietal lobe.
Oh!
I also found a number of clots. Oh, not at all. In most cases of arterial thrombosis, clots will develop over a period of minutes or hours.
Well, I did a fibrinogen test. The procoagulant numbers were high, but they weren't off the charts. But none of those popped up. I only ISO'd the epinephrine that was injected when he got golden juice on the plane. It was ribs, coleslaw, Barbie sauce. It was all negative for toxins. I mean, that stuff will kill you, but it'll take like 30 years.
So, you're both saying he wasn't murdered. I want my people to
So
take
wait a minute. If his was a natural death then and he suffered from an embolism, never mind all the health freak stuff that he was on, why did the Secret Service woman, Todd, why did she throw up? Did I miss something? I mean, she hasn't died from it, or was it just... I don't know. I'm not quite sure about it.
Tomorrow, noon. I'm flying back tonight to rejoin the detail.
Mind if I tag along?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Gibbs said, please.
Commander Trapp. Come all the way through the war without a scratch and then die of a stroke. We had a drink when he reported to the White House, where he could find a good gym, dry cleaners, grocery mart.
That makes sense.
He wouldn't have run into us after tonight, though, would he?
When we work together, my focus just wouldn't be 100%. I'm sorry, Tim.
That could lose you your job.
And you know it.
Why is he swearing? He's swearing a lot as well. What the fuck's going on here? It's fucking happening to him as well. What the fuck's going on? I've missed something.
You know, Abby, nature always proves to be a far more elusive and powerful killer than man. See, you're over the flu.
Right, so hers is just flu.
I met him for a drink yesterday.
He's
I
now
told him we
dead.
had to stop seeing each other. You know, when you're on the job 24/7, how else do you get to know someone?
Fair point. I like her hairdo. She's a little emo goth style. I like
The
it.
president's ready to see you.
Where'd they go?
The president promised 10 minutes to each member of the press on board.
Hijacked a commercial jetliner and crashed into the Capitol.
Tom Clancy.
There's a Ford movie. Terrorists were reporters. But in the film, the terrorists got their credentials from a Secret Service turncoat. We all gonna get our 15 minutes of fame?
It's 10, Leonard, and the president's doing his best.
We're missing a key piece here. I like how he keeps referencing the movie. Poison arrow frog. What the hell? Everything? This is the guy who died in his car, isn't it?
One dead Marine officer, no signs of trauma. I've got 2 shootings already this morning.
Someone has taken this guy's identity, I think, to get on board. I'm not certain. This is a lot to. I want to try and work these cases out as we go along in the upcoming episodes, but the first episode's a lot for me to take in. Major Timothy Carey.
Yeah, we'll take him.
Oh.
Yes.
Something different about this plane, Air Force One.
This is
Stop
Air Force
focusing
One.
on that.
Rear loading hatch is bigger on the 29,000. Locks are digital on 29 and keyed on this.
Special Agent Gibbs, you have a teleconference call in com.
Keys. I got nothing.
Major Carey is dead.
Another stroke, Doc?
No.
I'm afraid so, Gibbs. But this time there are multiple embolic infarctions.
Dose of what, Abby?
It's venom from a coastal taipan. It's a highly toxic Aussie snake.
The venom was in the uniform?
Yeah, I found traces of DMSO in the collars and the cuffs.
That's
mixed with the venom
ingenious.
to make it absorb through the skin.
Through the skin,
Major
yeah.
Carey was the intended target. We need to talk.
What are you doing? There's a campaign conference going on there.
To you in private.
Hey, ow!
Lavatory.
What are you doing?
Hard to detect.
Where'd you get that?
Natural death.
What, you think I did it?
Well, Sweet Pea, you were with him when he was poisoned. Major Carey yesterday.
You were.
Booked on a Georgetown street.
Like minutes after you left. Oh. Oh, man. It's not her. She didn't know. Look at her response.
Gave it to you cold. Wanted to see your reaction.
Yeah, that's why I did it.
Still a bastard.
Must be an Al-Qaeda sleeper.
Yeah.
Tim must have recommended his dry cleaners. Tim told me that they had a drink and that he gave Commander Trapp tips like that.
They forced the president to fly his backup.
Security's exactly the same.
But the plane isn't. Al-Qaeda has planted something on this plane.
Medical
Got another one.
cabin.
Out of the way, Captain. Is this the same thing, Trap Pat?
It's him. They're going for the same thing from like the move. They're going for the weapons locker. Keys,
29
not
has
digital.
digital ones. This plane has keys.
The armory, they have keys to the armory.
Nobody gets past you.
That's ridiculous.
Stop right there.
Stop him. It's him. It's him.
Freeze!
He's got him.
Get your hands in the air.
Yeah.
Someone yelled for a doctor.
Damn, he's cool under pressure. I love the all are. This was a lot to take in for an opening episode now. Could you imagine how much planning that was? You knew full well that you couldn't get access to an arms locker on an updated plane that has digital locks, so you need them to be the key type. So to go all in the planning in to get into that to figure out how the hell you get them to swap planes, that's what all this was about. Jesus. All for an assassination attempt.
Agent Todd told me about her and Major Carey when she tendered her resignation.
Accepting?
Of course. She broke the rules.
She's out of a
I
job.
heard you quit,
She's going to give her a job.
It's the right thing to do.
Yep. Well, that crap at NCIS. I won't give you a chance to resign.
Is that a job offer?
Yeah, it was.
We're able to foil a terrorist attempt to assassinate the president, where FBI forensic experts will endeavor to identify him.
What's he carving here? It's the keel of a boat, isn't it? Whoa, that ended abruptly. Damn. I'm exhausted. That was a lot to take in to introduce someone to a brand new show. To give us the case would have been enough, but to give us all the different acronyms of all the different agencies fucking squabbling between one another because it was, possible threat on the president's life. And then me as the viewer having to get used to how all the terminology and how things work and trying to learn names, trying to learn cast members. There was a lot going on. And on top of all of that, I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on, but he did. Gibbs. I've had to write it down. So I've got Ducky, which is the doctor, right? We've got Nose or something. I didn't quite hear his name. That's the young lad. Abby is the science technician person. Todd, I still don't know her first fucking name, was the Secret Service girl. I'll pick up more in the next episode. There was a very, very short clip of Charles Logan in there, the guy who plays him. And obviously the guy who's the top boss in here is none other than Charles Widmore. I'm sorry, I have to quote where I know them from. Okay, that's lost. That was an explosive start. What have I set in motion here? But you know what? That was thoroughly fucking enjoyable. I was glued to that. Did I do enough talking? I don't even know if I did. So it was a snake, a venom. Did you say it came from a snake? I can't remember now. There's so much going on. It was all a ruse to get them to swap planes. I like how they paralleled the movie Air Force One, and he literally put the pieces together by focusing on what happened in the movie and trying to see what was different on the plane. And then realising, when she mentioned digital locks versus keys, something like a little light bulb went off, and I'm like, that seems as though it's important, but I still didn't make the connection. He did. And boy, he did not hesitate with that guy. I mean, he just opened fire with that automatic weapon, didn't get hit somehow, and 2 kill shots, pop, pop. So she loses her job because she got involved, which is against regulations, of course. And now he's just offered her a job. So that's them introducing her in her role as Secret Service coming to an end and her joining NCIS, right? So she's going to be part of the team. Cool. What do you think? I tell you what I think. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was quite a bit of banter going on in there as well. It wasn't all too deadly serious. I liked the fact that there were the doctor and the other guy were like cocking about in the president's desk, taking pictures of one another, but the boss guy still fucking knew in the back. They thought they were being all coy about it, and they weren't. The doctor seems interesting. I'm probably going to have to look up where I know that actor from. He seems so familiar, but a younger version of him, I think from quite a bit ago, might be from the 80s and the 90s. I don't know. The Todd, the girl, her face seems somewhat recognisable, but I can't think what from. As regards everybody else, no. Obviously, I spotted Charles Logan. I spotted Charles Widmore. The 2 Charleses. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I'm definitely going on with this. If that's how these are going to go, whew, damn, there's a lot to soak in though. But it was difficult for me to try to piece that together as an opening episode. I remember when I first started The X-Files, and I was trying to get used to just the way the show was put together and the characters and the names and just the general feel for the show. I'll probably have the same with this, but I'm hoping I get to play a little bit detective along with it. I miss being able to do that like I did with the X-Files and be able to just run off what I think is happening with you guys before we actually find out and see how accurate I am. Sometimes I used to be right on point, sometimes I used to be way off, sometimes I used to be half and half. What it does for me as a reactor is it keeps me grounded to the point where I'm focusing so much on the episode that it gives me more to discuss. It gives me, I'm not just reacting to just things that happen on screen. I'm dissecting it with you as the viewer as we're watching it. I hope you enjoyed that first episode anyway. We'll be back with another one, which I'm going to go watch now because I want to see another one of those. We're doing 2 opening episodes this week. Next one will be available in the next day or so. I don't know whether I'm going to release them on the same day or a day apart. I haven't decided yet. On Patreon, that is. And if we are further down the line in the future somewhere, and you are watching this on YouTube a little bit further, a week or 2 later, there'll be 1 a week on YouTube to start with, 2 a week on Patreon. So if you do want to watch the early access of these, check the link in the description. That will take you over to Patreon and you can watch all the full length episodes over there. If that's where you already are, ignore what I've just said. And if you are indeed on YouTube, so complicated, I would appreciate a sub to the channel, especially if you are a fan of this series, because we're right at the beginning. Right then, see you for episode 2 next. Take care.